guys, we're going to do some Nancy Drew Sea of Darkness while we wait for the roleplay game to start. I'm just making sure that I'm in my chat. Okay. Alright. Now let's jump back into the game and start playing. We're gonna go new game. We're gonna go Master Sleuth. Alright guys, so today we're starting on this. I had actually recorded this once before, but guess what? It didn't save. So we're also going to try to get every award. That is my goal, okay? Real quick, let's take a look at Nancy's, oh, do you not get to look at the scrapbook? Somebody's outside, let's see. There's no need for you to talk. Alright. Nancy, I got your contact info through a friend of mine, Moira Chisholm. I think you did some good sleuthing work with her in Scotland not too long ago. First, some background on yours truly. You could officially call me a locator of fine goods, per se. Nice things get lost, nice things stay buried for a while. I find the nice things and I get a piece of the pie. In other words, I'm a treasure hunter. Currently I'm in Iceland in a small town called Skibroth. When I first arrived, the Harlekide was beached nearby with a long-standing rumor about a treasure concealed somewhere within the old merchant ship. The ship is pretty important to the citizens of Skibroth, and they have a festival every year to celebrate the year it crashed onto their shores. Why celebrate a shipwreck? Don't ask me. I helped to restore the ship along with my business partner Magnus Kiljansen, under two conditions. Number one, I would be entitled to a portion of any treasure found, and number two, we couldn't begin a formal search until this year's festival was finished. We dolled the ship up all pretty, polished the hull, and Magnus planned to sell it in to commemorate the festival's start date. But when the ship arrived, empty. No Magnus, no sign of a struggle, nothing. He's just gone. I think Magnus is up to something shady. I think he found the treasure, and now I want you to find him. I booked you onto the next flight to Reykjavik. The car will take you to Skibroth. I'll meet you in town. Bon voyage, Dagny Silva. Let's go.
Phew, finally made it to town. Oh, it's freezing out here. Hi there. Are you Miss Silva?
Finally, she arrives. I think I'm half made of ice at this point. So, you're Nancy, huh? I'm Dagny. I'm part of the ship restoration team, the one who called you in. You can call me Boss Lady if you want. Or my queen. Or Dagny, whatevs.
Let's go with Dagny for now and work our way up to the big stuff. Can I help?
Yes. Find my missing, skeeving, backstabbing business partner, Magnus.
I'm sensing you're a little stressed out about this.
Ugh. I'm so mad I've been an inch away from setting this town on fire.
On fire? Are you okay?
What?
Oh, just a fire comment. I thought...
Metaphors, Nancy. Keep up with me here. So listen. Right now I'm focused on this town, Skibroth. There's this ship in town that was being rebuilt. Real old, 18th century. I offered to sponsor the rebuilding project to get the ship floating again. Mostly because I'm super nice and cool like that. But also because there's a rumor about treasure on board worth millions. Magnus, the man in charge of the project, and my business partner promised we'd find it and split the earnings.
But he's gone missing now?
Yep. And left me looking like a fool.
Was there any proof that he disappeared intentionally?
He disappeared sometime before our ship crashed into the harbor. They say he must have fallen in the water, but the guy sails for a living. You know what sailors don't do? Drown.
I get it. You think he ran off with the gold then?
After enough time in the biz, a girl knows when she's being backstabbed. If he did find the treasure, I need you to track down Magnus and make him play fair.
And if I find the treasure, I'll find Magnus.
Yes. The key to finding the treasure is learning about that ship.
So everything's interconnected. Sounds like I've got my work cut out for me. Can I take a look at the ship?
Technically, yes.
Awesome. How do I get on board?
By not being me, apparently. Elizabeth controls the ship, and she hates my guts. She removed the gangway to my ship that I paid for.
Did she give you a reason?
Oh, something about her family line and ancient blood feuds and murders and, you know, normal boring stuff. Talk to Soren, the festival organizer. He'll make sure she lets you on.
What do people in town think about Magnus's disappearance?
They're all like, ooh, the ocean is super dangerous in the winter, and ooh, hypothermia and blah, blah, blah. You know, Icelander stuff.
But without a body, you're still convinced he faked his death.
Yep, which apparently doesn't take a lot of work in Iceland.
How'd you meet Magnus?
I heard about the rumor of the treasure through my connections. Then I approached him. He's a hard guy to pin down, that Magnus. Turns out he's been looking for the treasure for years. I just happened to come in at an opportune moment.
What would Magnus do with the treasure?
Desperately wants to buy his own ship. He's a ship guy. Ship guys are like that.
So the ship he helped rebuild isn't his?
We funded it, but it's town property.
Later.
See ya, Drew.
Okay. Time to back away from Dagny. We're gonna go... Actually, let's go up this gangway real quick.
If this section of the original ship was removed, then maybe others were too.
Old Stolka. This original crow's nest was removed from the Harlekheid prior to the start of her restoration 2 years ago. Styled in the fashion of typical Dutch East Indiaman ships from the period, the name Harlekheid means glory in Dutch. It has been preserved for future generations to admire and enjoy.
Hi there. I'm looking for Soren.
You must be Nancy. I'm Soren, the organizer of the Ancestors Festival. I run the Culture Center here in Skibberot.
Nice to meet you. Can you help me get onto the ship?
Ah, the Harlekheid. Is Elizabeth not manning the gangway?
The gangway's missing, unfortunately.
Oh, dear. Well, that's highly unusual. I'll take care of it straight away for you. Elizabeth is a rose, truly. But she does have thorns.
What do you think happened to Magnus?
I admit I haven't the faintest idea. That man's mind is a hive of mysteries, an enigma, an impenetrable den.
So you two never really talked?
An understatement. Why, the man hardly spoke 10 words to me the entire time I knew him. I do hope he's all right, though. If he were to turn up, say, less than alive, it would spell bad news for me. I'm already disliked, and it would only show the others how easy it is to make someone disappear.
What is this place?
This is my battle station, the place where I endeavor to fight my way through the thickest mysteries of Icelandic history. Here, confusing ancient shipwrecks and obscure writings from millennia past are converted into knowledge and truth. Also, I have swords.
That's always a good thing.
So, you're a historian, archaeologist?
A bit of both. I dabble. I spent some years at Harvard pursuing my doctorate in Viking history before returning to Skibberot for research. I'm one of the only few to ever travel in this town. Everyone here should try it sometime. Really shakes up the old bag of prejudices.
I guess that explains why you don't have much of an accent.
Oh, quite.
Tell me about your research.
Sharp things. Ceremonial sharp things. Wedding spears. Funeral spears. New baby, celebration daggers, birthday axes, congrats bows. Turns out, Vikings have a lot of weapons for every occasion. Nothing says I love you like a new murder tool. Most of these can be found on shipwrecks or near burial sites. Luckily, there are no lack of those in these parts, so I've got plenty of work to do. Old Gudrun over there is my favorite of all. She's a replica, not an original. I use her to knock icicles off the roof.
Bye-bye.
Well, on with it.
Chaos at Skibrot Commerce Meeting. Out of the room if you want to talk. I will not tell y'all again. I'm streaming. If you want to talk, take another room. A town hall meeting this week erupted into discord when a local fisherman caused a scene over what he called a threat to core Icelandic values. Skibrot citizen Gunnar Tannesson brought a written petition to the meeting, hoping to interrupt the board's vote on a fiscal allocation for the annual Ancestors Festival. Thomas described his petition as a serious attempt to maintain the sanctity and integrity of our town's history. Tonnesson is well known as a local terror, and maintains an active political presence against the Ancestors Festival. He was recently charged with sabotaging the past 2 years' festivals, a feat which the local police chief termed definitely the most offensive use of fermented shark and hot tar I've ever seen. Damages from those incidents have estimated to have totaled more than 12.4 million kroner. Tonnesson has willfully refused to pay these fines, and authorities have speculated that his actions may escalate this year. Witnesses report that Councilmember Soren Bergensen denied Tonnesson's request to present his petition, at which point Tonnesson threw a bottle at him. "He's totally off his rocker," Bergensen told the Skibrot anchor after the meeting was suspended. "He's clinging to the past out of sheer emotional attachment. That's how they all are here. They're terrified of change. In a perfect world, sure, the festival would always stay the same, but ticket sales are a constant struggle for us. My job is to take that into consideration." At which point, Bergerson was forced to duck as Tonnesson threw a second bottle at him. "You see?" he shrieked. "You see what I'm dealing with here?" Music boxes. Let's just keep that, shall we?
Good day.
Hi there. I'm investigating a recent disappearance. My name's Nancy Drew.
Speak up, girl.
My name's Nancy Drew.
Louder!
I said my name's Nancy Drew.
Mind your ship, flag, and temper. Looks like we got a real angry one here. Name's Gunnar, but you can call me Gunnar. The skip is my home.
Oh. I heard you've had problems with the festival the last couple of years. Care to talk about that?
The festival is not what it once was. I'll return things to the old ways no matter how many buckets of hot tar I have to dump. Some of the harbor boats still have holes in their bottoms.
I see. Did you have a plan like that for this year, too?
Elizabeth said no more trouble or she kicks me out of the skip. I only pay with an angry sheep.
What does that mean?
Means I do it, but I don't like it.
Did you know Magnus?
Sure did. Never liked him.
Did something happen between you two?
No, I don't like anyone. I don't think I like you. I'm still gumming it over.
So I take it you weren't friends.
Gunnar doesn't need friends. Already have two, mug and chair.
Did Magnus ever say anything about the treasure?
I might have.
Don't want to tell me?
Lot of nerve, girl. Go away.
So, let's go over here real quick, because one of our achievements is to play this game 11 times. So let's get at least one out of the way now. Alright. Objects and places. I think I remember most of these. Okay. I think I'm good. Did that right the first time. Go figure. That's one time on this game. Try this one more time, and I'm actually gonna read through them this time because I tried to just remember them from yesterday. That didn't work. Apple, epli, banana, bunny, bean, bound, bread, brow, butter, smør. I can't do cake. Carrot, gulrot, cheese, ostor, chocolate, chocolate, eggs easy, fruit, avocado, garlic, vitliqueur, lemon, citrona, citrus. Sounds pretty familiar. Meat, jot, milk, njok, nut, panetta, onion, lauper, orange, appelsina. What? Peach, first, pear, para, pineapple, ananas. Potato, kartofla, salad, salat, salt, sandwich, semloka, soup, supa, strawberry, jarro, beer, tea, tomato, water, button. Okay. It's pineapple. It's onion. It's tea. There's, yeah. Store, kartoffa, bound, egg, semloka, netta, suppa, jot. Salt, salad, strawberry, 600 kroner that time. Animals. Katterfugel, Hunde, Asni, On, Fil, Fisker, Reaper, Gate, Hamster, Vodkultur, Heina, Hester, Mignon, Api, Mus, Sven, Björn, Lundi, Genina, Rota. Okay. Und then Arata, Rodogutor, Homstor, Fungula. Well, that should be easy. Vatten, Goret, Buster, Netta, Salt, Lemon, Peach, Salad, Pear, Chocolate, Meat, Bean, Brown, Cake, Egg, Lovely. Do one more round of this real quick, and then we're gonna go do other stuff. Okay, I remember this one. Cow, Legger, Munner, Magic, Bach, and Legger, Finger, Onbogi, Don, Inlet, Har, Water. Alga, Any, Ben, Mogo. That's two, whatever. Alright.
Gunnar, I need your help in the pub while I watch the ship. Can you serve customers tonight?
Wouldn't need the help if you'd leave the blasted ship alone for a night.
I need to stay on board. That means you need to pull your weight for once.
I won't leave my chair for no tourist. If they want a drink, they can use the tap themselves, their hands and broken. Can't you leave well enough alone and come back to the skip, girl? The ship isn't going anywhere. It's crashed.
I have something I still need to do. Of course you'd be selfish about helping me. Just like always.
Are you hiding something now, girl? Something you're keeping from old Gunnar?
Ugh! Fine! Sit there in that stupid chair for all I care. There'll be no service at the Misty Skip tonight. Happy now?
She sounded angry. Here's her rules for Gunnar during the absence. Gunnar, I'm going to be spending all my time on the ship over the festival weekend. As a reminder, here are the rules in my absence. All mugs and dishes must be cleaned. Customers must be served promptly. Yes, even if they are tourists. No calling customers weak spine ninny faces. No challenging customers to fights. Yes, this does include arm wrestling as discussed. All fish must be cleaned at the cleaning station outside, not in the middle of the bar. No bellowing. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Good day.
Are you a sailor?
Was long ago. I gave up the sea for good, and I'll never sail again.
You still look like a sailor to me.
What does a sailor look like?
It's a certain quality. I can't quite place it.
Worn? Broken? Bitter? The sea chewed me up and spat me back out, and I lost everything in her waves. You are too delicate. I bet you'd not last 1 minute against some of the gales I've sailed.
I'm finding that these days, I'm surprisingly hard to kill.
Well, we'll see about that, detective, won't we? I hate the water. Hate the smell of it, the sound of it, won't ever return.
So, about your fingers.
My lucky tree?
Is that what you call them?
Sure is. It's a long story. Now, there I was, out in the pitch black of night, with no sign of shore and only my fishing spear. Then suddenly, I saw a shadow. It was a mighty squid, the greatest hunter of them all. Few men have lived to see it and tell the tale. So I pulled out my spear, just a little too fast, mind you.
And that's how you lost your fingers?
Of course not! I threw the spear right overboard and I hauled that fellow into my net. Took all my weight just to keep him from wriggling free, but his strength proved too much for me. He gnashed his giant beak and, well, I was done for.
So the squid took your fingers?
No, 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 no! Right as I thought I was dead, a massive shark leapt out of the waves and ate the squid. It was the sleeper shark, a solid 6 meters long with 4 rows of teeth. He bit my arm and pulled me under as I gasped for my last breath.
So it was a shark then?
No! I managed to punch him in the nose. You ever fight a shark? You know how to punch him in the nose? He let me go, I swam like a merman and made it back to shore. 3 months later, I was in a wood shop accident. Lopped my fingers clean off.
Aha. At least it makes for a great story. Have you met Dagny?
Who?
She's the woman involved with the Hirlik High's restoration. Brown hair, about yay high.
Ah, a tough little mink of a woman. Not bad in my book.
Did you see her the day of the ship crash?
Yeah, she was there, but I paid no attention to the mink.
You spend a lot of time in the pub, don't you? Why?
What kind of a question is that? Am I a lonely little man sitting in the pub crying over a tiny plate of pretty biscuits thinking about all the women I've ever lost and writing it all down in some wimpy little notebook? No! Then I would be Magnus. Me. I am a mountain wolf. I roam the wilds and I keep my own company. I am a predator.
I'll let you go.
Oh.
Okay. So that's Gunnar.
This is so neat. I wish I could play these.
Yeah, I don't feel like listening to this history right at this moment.
Hey! Who let you on board? If you're here for the festival, it's cancelled.
I didn't mean to intrude. I'd just like to have a look around, if that's okay. My name's Nancy Drew. I'm a visitor.
I know you're a tourist. We're a town of 300.
I'm not a tourist. I'm here to investigate. Thanks for setting up that gangway for me, by the way.
The gangway was meant for Soren. I didn't know he planned to let strangers on board. Are you with that snake of a woman?
It's complicated.
If you're after just the gold, I want nothing to do with you. Leave.
Wait, I'm not after any treasure. I just want to help find Magnus.
Magnus?
Look, I think we might have gotten off on the wrong foot. Maybe I should start over. My name's Nancy. It's really nice to meet you.
I'm Elizabeth. I run a Misty Skip pub in town. What do you want with Magnus?
Oh, good. So you know him?
That's a question, isn't it? I thought I knew him. Maybe I was wrong.
Were you very close with him then?
No. No, we weren't close. And I want nothing to do with the man.
What do you think happened to Magnus? The current rumor is that he fell overboard.
Do I think he is drowned? Is that what you're asking?
I didn't mean it that way.
I certainly hope so. Some people think he ran off with some old treasure. It may be a coincidence. It may not.
Dagny doesn't think it was a coincidence at all.
So, you've been talking to the others.
Just a bit here and there.
Even if the treasure were real, Magnus wouldn't be able to find it. He's completely oblivious. To the world. To everything. The man lives in a cabin in the mountains. Too lofty to concern himself with human affairs.
Did Gunnar do anything unusual leading up to the festival?
Well, if you include the 2 festivals before this one, certainly. He ruined them single-handedly. Aside from that, only the usual threats. Gunnar swore he'd tie Magnus up and send him out to sea. Gunnar hates Magnus.
Later.
Bye now.
So another achievement is Lookout. Means we have to go all the way up here. Cool. 11 times, I think. Yeah. So there's number 1 of that. I'm just gonna try to make it a habit of coming up, you know, when I go by.
Looks like Dagny's been doing a little sleuthing of her own. Is that a password?
Well, the festival went downright horribly. I'm still scrambling to pick up the pieces. In light of recent events, the town's like a pressure cooker. Even Soren's starting to act weird. I'm keeping my luggage in his office for now, but that might have to change. I've changed my phone password to Scuttlebutt to throw him off in case he gets a little nosy. Sogdinar with this old thing won't let me get a look. Appears to be using it as a tea coaster? Typical Gunnar. Maybe it's part of something else? Update. Gunnar has taken to calling me Minke. Looked it up. It's a type of whale. Cannot wait to get out of this town.
It won't turn on. Missing batteries, I think. Wow, an antique desk, and it's in pristine condition. Time to break it open. I need to figure out the rules being used in each row here.
Alright, so there's 3 yellows and 4 reds in every row. Now let's see. 3, 4, 7, 9, 3, 5, 8, 9. 1, 2, 5. So that makes 3 of 1. So 1, 2, so that's 3, 6. 3 to bring it 9, 6, 7, 8. There we go.
So, Dagny's trying to keep a low profile. I wonder if that's why she called me instead of going to the police about Magnus.
Probably. Alright. Iceland government reports big treasure to be found. Iceland national authorities have declared a renewed interest in a historical missing treasure case. According to the Reykjavik news report, the treasure is reportedly located somewhere near the small Icelandic town of Skibrot, situated along the southern coast. Established as a popular historic site after the Loki Fissure eruption of 1783, the site has served as a local tourist destination in recent years, thanks to a nearby beached Dutch East Indiaman, which has sat untouched but visible for centuries. Information about the treasure's origin has not yet been released, and authorities could not be reached for comment. Alright, after this I think I'm going to take a break for a little while and try to make this Even though I'm streaming, I'm gonna try to chop it into little pieces by taking breaks. And that, and I've got other things I've got to get ready before I do our Exalted game, which is coming up at 6 p.m. guys. I'm actually gonna make an event for that. Today my head feels worse than ever. Have not slept in 3 days. I can't stop thinking about the ship. Toomey and I have moved on board into the captain's quarters. Elizabeth finds it strange, me living amongst the ruins of a dead crew. I can't blame her. Last night I saw a shadow moving on the ship's deck, just out of the light's reach. I've started keeping Toomey with me for safety. Midnight thought, what if the treasure isn't on board at all? What if it's somewhere else entirely? This winter is darker than ever. It feels like it may never end. With Lawrence, nothing is a coincidence. He meant for this treasure to be found. I'm getting closer, and the more I uncover, the more scared I am to say anything. I sense that someone is following in my tracks, ever so slightly out of sight. I found my journal open on my desk this morning. I always lock it away. And last week, I thought I heard someone outside my cabin out in the snow, but when I peered out, no one was there. I'm not imagining this. It's real, I swear it is. There is no one I can trust, not even Dagny, not even Elizabeth. The town has their cute tourist story, but I alone know the truth. Searching for these pieces has been the thread connecting the seams of my life. I found the first when I was a boy, a small button, clearly old and carved, with no sense of its belonging. I've never told Elizabeth about any of it. Every weekend, my private clients ask me to chart a new course for some new tourist destination. They always want to go to the same 4 dive spots, the same 6 beachside bars, the same 3 ports. While I sail, I think of the treasure and I think of Elizabeth. I think of the life she deserves. I can't give her my life. Constantly being at sea, constantly on the clock. Something has to change. The treasure is the way out. Hobby's funeral was today. Afterwards, I went to the ship and worked. I know there's an answer buried in Lawrence's breadcrumbs. It's right in front of me. Elizabeth stayed beside me all day, long into the evening. She didn't argue with me, just reached for my hand. I wish I could tell her about the footlocker and the items within it. I didn't know they were her family's when I found them, I suppose. But that's not an excuse for continuing to keep them, is it? Someday I'm going to make things right with her. I just hope that when that happens, she can forgive me. At the funeral, my uncle reminded me that my father used to call me Little Thrond, after the famous moody sailor of my childhood sagas. It is written that Thrond's heart was ever false. Perhaps I, too, am a liar at my core. I miss him so much.
Sounds like he's gone through some troubled times lately. Is this a code?
I'm close to figuring out the lock in my quarters. The combination is tied back to the tidal-sounding depth charts. When the locator compass is placed correctly on the chart, 4 numbers will be visible in the locator's holes. These 4 numbers will open one lock when entered in increasing order. I have half the locator now. Tracing some faint markings at the top of the main mast revealed the total sum of all 4 numbers visible in the locator's holes. That means I still need to find at least 2 numbers to be able to locate the correct place to put the locator. 1 number is hidden in Lawrence's antique map on the wall. I need only break this code to see which letters to pin. My search continues for a second number and the other half of the locator. Time is running out.
I bet Magnus was in the middle of solving this. Looks like one of these words is scrambled within each row and column.
Alright guys, one moment. I'm back. Sorry guys. Okay guys, I'm gonna save this for now. Alright guys, that's all for now. And I will be back in an hour and a half for